If you've been feeling totally overwhelmed lately, trust me, you are not alone. We're living in an era that is just defined by this overwhelming noise, constant notifications, and this immense, heavy pressure from the crowd to react, conform, and basically just keep up with everything. Honestly, it's exhausting. But, well, ancient Eastern philosophy actually offers a pretty incredible antidote to all this, a real way to anchor yourself. So in this explainer, we're decoding the anatomy of inner strength. We'll be looking through the lens of traditional Eastern physiognomy, which is basically the study of how our inner emotional state directly shows up in our physical traits.
Okay, let's dive right into this, because I want to challenge your basic assumptions right out of the gate here. When you picture a really powerful presence in a room, what actually comes to mind? Right? We're so culturally conditioned to imagine someone who just takes up a ton of space. You know, someone who speaks the loudest, acts the fastest, and instantly dominates the whole conversation. But ancient wisdom? It flips this entirely on its head. No way is that true strength.
See, there is a stark difference between the fake, loud ego we see all the time today and genuine, grounded inner power. The modern illusion tells us that reactivity equals strength, but the Eastern reality views true strength as a cultivated stillness. It's really about being quiet, slow, and deeply observant. So today, we're going to look at the 4 specific physical traits that reveal this authentic inner power.
Moving to level 1, the foundation, mastering the breath and body.
So we're starting with the easiest trait to actually train, which is our physical rhythm. In Eastern philosophy, your breathing isn't just, a biological function. It's literally the direct remote control for your mind. Think about it. A chaotic, anxious mind instantly creates shallow chest breathing, rapid walking, and nervous little habits like shaking your legs. Conversely, a calm mind naturally results in deep belly breathing, unhurried steps, and a profoundly grounded posture.
And the absolute beauty of this is that it works in reverse. Body and mind are a continuous feedback loop. If your mind is racing, you don't have to try and force it to calm down, which, let's be real, rarely works anyway. Instead, take control of the physical remote. Just a few minutes of mindful physical practice every day, like consciously breathing deeper or deliberately slowing down your walking pace, sends a signal right back up to your brain that you're safe. Literally, this is how you build the foundational level of inner strength.
Now on to level 2, the windows, cultivating a steady gaze.
Ancient physiognomy considers the eyes to be the ultimate revealer of the human spirit. Now, we often think a tough, intimidating, piercing stare is a sign of power. But actually, ancient texts call this an exposed spirit. Its energy being aggressively pushed outward, which means it's easily depleted and, surprisingly, a sign of easily shaken internal energy. True strength, on the other hand, is found in the hidden spirit, a steady, calm, unwavering gaze. When someone with real inner strength looks at you, their eyes don't nervously dart around the room, nor do they try to aggressively drill a hole into your skull. They just look at you, fully present.
We really need to make an important distinction here, though. A steady gaze is not some emotionless, dull, or dead-eyed look. Quite the opposite. It's bright and peaceful. It simply means the mind is unbothered by external distractions. As you practice internal calmness, your eyes will naturally stop darting around. They just reflect a mind that no longer feels the desperate need to constantly react to every single little thing happening in the room.
Up next, level 3, the shield, the voice under fire.
This level focuses on how your internal energy manifests through your vocal cords, specifically what happens to your voice when things go horribly wrong. Just imagine you're facing sudden criticism or an aggressive argument in a meeting. Well, a weak inner state instantly betrays itself. Your vocal pitch shoots way up, and you start talking incredibly fast, rushing to defend yourself. A strong inner state, however, maintains a deep, slow, and even vocal rhythm. Honestly, anyone can fake a smooth radio voice when they're calm and happy. But the true, undeniable test of your inner strength is whether your voice stays anchored when you are pushed into a corner. And this is exactly why keeping your vocal rhythm steady is literally the ultimate conversational power move. When your voice stays deep and even under fire, it shows your energy is nourished from within. It's an absolute refusal to be swept into another person's emotional storm. Sure, shouting might get you heard for a split second, but a calm, steady rhythm, that radiates a natural authority that completely commands the room, far better than yelling ever could.
All right, level 4, the ultimate mastery, the unchanging face.
We finally arrived at the absolute pinnacle of this framework, maintaining complete facial composure during a crisis. The essence of this trait is perfectly captured by the Song Dynasty scholar Su Sun. He wrote, "Mount Tai collapses before you, but your expression remains unchanged." Just imagine that imagery for a second. The greatest mountain falling to pieces right in front of your eyes, and yet your face doesn't betray a single ounce of panic. This is the absolute peak of emotional mastery.
Now, I want to clear up a really vital misconception right here. Having an unchanging face is not about suppressing your feelings or acting like some heartless robot. A master feels everything deeply. The difference is the profound ability to fully experience those intense emotions, whether it's fear, anger, shock, without letting them hijack your outward actions or your mental clarity. It's like you become the immovable mountain amidst a raging emotional storm.
This leads us to Level 5, the ultimate test, a historical masterclass in composure.
To truly understand the power of the unchanging face, we have to look at this high-stakes, literal life-or-death historical masterclass in composure. Okay, so during the Three Kingdoms period, the brilliant strategist Zhuge Liang desperately needed his rival Sima Yi to come out and fight an open battle. So what did he do? Zhuge Liang sent Sima Yi a box of women's clothing, which was an extreme insult meant to mock his courage and basically call him a coward. Sima Yi's generals instantly erupted into furious blind anger, demanding to attack. But Sima Yi, he displayed the ultimate unchanging face. He calmly smiled, gracefully accepted the clothes, and even politely asked the messenger about Zhuge Liang's health and diet. By absolutely refusing to let his ego get triggered, Sima Yi prevented his army from charging into a disastrous trap, and he ultimately won the broader war.
Zhuge Liang desperately wanted Sima Yi to lose his temper, but Sima Yi's inner strength just wouldn't allow it. It proves such a profound point. The strongest person is never the loudest one in the room, they're the quietest one in the storm. Take a second to really let that realization sink in.
Let's look at Level 6, the ego trap, the paradox of humility.
Now, before you start analyzing everyone around you, the source material pivots to an absolutely crucial philosophical warning. If you recognize these 4 traits in yourself, the calm breath, the steady gaze, the even voice, the composed face, and you start thinking, wow, I'm so much better and more evolved than everyone else, well, you've fallen into the trap of weakness. Using this knowledge to judge others or feed your arrogance is the ultimate proof that your inner strength is actually incredibly fragile. The mark of true, unshakable strength is deep humility and profound generosity. When you're truly strong inside, you have absolutely zero desire to prove your superiority to anyone.
And please remember, nobody is born with these traits perfectly locked in. They're forged over time. Emotional mastery is the true underlying root cause here. When you do the hard internal work to really understand your own psychology, when you figure out exactly why certain things trigger you and others don't, these 4 physical traits will just naturally emerge on the outside. They are the beautiful byproduct of doing the internal work.
The modern world isn't going to get any quieter. The noise and the pressure, they'll always be there. But you have the tools to build your own anchor. So I'm going to leave you with this question to carry with you. Which of these 4 traits, your breath, your gaze, your voice, or your facial composure, will you start practicing today to anchor yourself in the noise? The choice to build your inner mountain begins right now.